Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Caffeinicus, and today's World of Warships video will feature a game in the Whirlwind in the Polygon game mode that Wargaming recently reintroduced. This was one of my first few games in the Whirlwind, so I was still running the default loadout. So, how does the Revamped Polygon game mode work? Well, you first start out with about 15 other players scattered across the map. There will be various AI-controlled monster ships that you have to kill to obtain battle points. Each monster ship killed will net you the number of battle points listed by the HP bars, 90 in the case of this Fang Blade here, though others can vary from 150 up to 600 and so on. These monster ships aren't defenseless, of course. Some can launch torpedoes, others shoot acid, or have shields to make things a bit more challenging than a simple skeet shoot. If you so choose, you can also kill other players. Killing other players will transfer their accumulated battle points from the current game over to your score. These battle points are then used to enhance your ship's performance during the game. It's important to note that enhancing your ship does not use up your battle points, and you will receive the total battle points from each game as a temporary new resource in the armory at the end of the game. In addition, successfully completing the game objectives by exiting through the portal or killing the raid boss monster ship, for example the Aurora, will also grant you bonus battle points as well. As you can see, killing that Thornridge earlier pushed me over the 200 battle point threshold, which resulted in an upgrade selection screen popping up. I decided to enhance my torpedo range, increasing it by about 20% from 8 kilometers to 9.6. And now we're going to see if we can knock out this other Thornridge here to bump my score over 500 to get my second upgrade. And sure enough, we take it out, and I'm going to upgrade the firing range on my secondary guns out to 5.6 kilometers. One thing I did forget to mention is that you can form a division with up to 2 other players in this game mode. However, if you decide to start the game in a division, each member of your division will be randomly spread out across the map. If you decide to create a division in the game itself, simply point your targeting reticule over another player's name and press the F key to send an invitation as you saw me do earlier. I've sent out a couple of invites so far, and now we have a friend to sail the alien-infested seas with, in the form of Masterfish in the Hector over there. So I'm going to head forward to meet up with my new buddy. It looks like he's deciding to take a fight with 3 monsters and another player in a Valkyrie, so I'm pushing forward as quickly as I can. You'll notice that there are 3 icons beside the repair button at the bottom of my screen. The Whirlwind plays similarly to the Gale, another torpedo-armed space ocean boat. You have a set number of charges which can be distributed across 3 characteristics: repairs, torpedo reload, and speed or maneuverability. In this case, I'm already at full HP, so I've got my charges set for reload and speed to get into the fray. I launch a few torpedoes at the enemy Valkyrie once I had him at a good angle, and another set at the monster behind me. Unfortunately, the Valkyrie takes that monster out before my torpedoes land. But that's okay, as our Hector roughly handles the enemy Valkyrie in return, and we get a split of his battle points. That's actually nice to get an even split of the points there, even though I wasn't really needed in that fight. So now that the Valkyrie has been taken out, I'm pushing to the red colored zone on the map where the lobster-eyed monsters typically spawn. You can see how quickly I'm getting across the map here, and for a moment I'm actually up over 110 knots. This is definitely one of the fastest ships in this game mode, and it's easy enough to get around the map with it. Getting into the red zone on the minimap will actually trigger the spawn of several monsters, including the lobster-eyed that we are hunting. However, the first monster that I actually find is actually a Thornridge that's looming in our way, so I'm going to head towards it a little bit before turning and launching a set of torpedoes at that monster. So let's just make sure that we take it out. We've got 2 torpedoes in the water, and I'm going to launch the rest of myself over here. So now that we've taken out that Thornridge, I can help support my buddy and focus on the Lobster Eye. These will give you 600 battle points per kill, though it does have a huge chunk of HP and a shield that makes it a bit harder to kill than the other regular monsters. We can tell when the shields are active by the glowing yellow circles surrounding the monster right there. And what you can do is either wait out the shield or just keep plowing at it until it goes down. And between the two of us, we handily take out that lobster eye. I've made a bit of a tactical beaching here, and since I'm also a bit damaged, I'll go ahead and redistribute my charges to get my heal going. You can see how the green section of my reload and speed icons will reduce slowly, while the heal icon starts to build up, and begins to repair my damaged space boat ship thing. While this is going on, let's head over to the next red section of the map and see if we can get more lobster rolls to snack on. My ship's going to be running a bit slower here while I repair. You can see we're topping out at about 90 knots or so, but it shouldn't be a big deal as I expect to be back to full health momentarily. There we go. We should be back to 100% now, and I can redistribute my charges once again to focus on speed and reload. So here we are. We're speeding along nicely when we hear the telltale sign of alien infestation right there. And so we're going to look around and find the enemy monster. There it is. And it's a fang blade. So we're going to slow down and launch our torpedoes at that fang blade that came out of nowhere. And then we're going to turn around right away. And we are going to launch our torpedoes on the Thornridge on our port side as well. I don't know, maybe they thought they were going to ambush our poor Whirlwind and turn me into a nice tasty alien snack here, but I don't think that's going to work out very well for you, you little alien critter things. Our buddy takes care of the other Thornridge, and so now there's just the lobster roll and another player in the Hector down here. So I go ahead and launch my torpedoes to cut off that Hector's retreat, while our buddy starts blasting away with his wave guns. It looks like the Hector is pushing forward now, so I launch torpedoes ahead of his path to lock him in. We get one torpedo hit that takes him down to less than 1/3 of his HP, and our next salvo is already in the water. Our buddy of course chows down on that lobster roll, and we finish off the Hector, so a nice bit of teamwork there. And of course, we split the lovely battle points that comes with it. I choose to upgrade my secondaries again here. I'm not sure if that's really the best choice, but I figure 10.4 kilometer torps are good enough as anything further will probably not hit anyway. And the secondaries on the Whirlwind seems like a bunch of fun to mess around with. And we also get a nice heal from our buddy Masterfish as well. Looks like he's running with the Hector's healing loadout, so I turn off my own repairs. And this is where you can see how each of the different ships in this game mode actually brings something to the table. And also a quick note, you may have noticed during the engagement that there was a notification that popped up on the screen indicating that the exit portal is open. Anyone can just head towards the blue arrow icon on the map now and exit the game if they so choose, and successfully exiting will grant players double their accumulated battle points in this game. But for us, it's 2 lobsters down. Let's see if we can get another. You also see a red crown icon on the minimap here. That's where the boss monster, the Aurora, will spawn, along with a bunch of annoying little ads that make your life miserable. Killing the Aurora will net you a bunch of battle points, so we'll head over and see what we can do. Also, one thing to mention, the timer on the top right of the screen seems to be busted in the replay, but that actually shows you how long before the exit portal spawns, closes, and so on. So do keep an eye on that while you're in game in case you just want to save your points and head out. Anyway, back to the task at hand. We head to the red zone on the minimap where the Aurora Crown icon is located, and we're minding our own business when a couple of monsters spawn right on us. I take out the Fang Blade after eating a face full of acid, and Masterfish takes care of the Thornridge that spawns behind us. At this point, the timer for the Aurora is counting down from a little over a minute until the boss spawns. And this is the bit that's changed since the first iteration of Polygon from last year. The last go around, you needed to find a key to exit the portal, and those few remaining players who failed to exit would be pulled into a cage match where everyone dukes it out and there can be only one immortal standing at the end. This time, you can either escape the portal as soon as it opens, or stay to defeat the raid boss Kael'thas the Aurora, and get extra goodies. You'll always know approximately where the Aurora spawns once the game gets going. Just watch out for the notification in chat before proceeding to look for the crown icon on the map. Then keep an eye for the timer, which will not be broken in the game, so you can get to the fight on time. In any case, you can see my unfamiliarity here as I wait and circle the marker, thinking the Aurora will spawn right on it and I can let loose with Torpedo Hell. Apparently though, the Aurora doesn't spawn exactly at this spot, but somewhere in the close vicinity. In addition, it also brings with it a bunch of annoying little ads that have no HP and are easy to kill, but also toss out a lot of nasty HE traces at you. I was originally saving my torpedoes for the Aurora, but figured I'd let loose on the Thornridge chasing me instead, since the Aurora spawned further behind me. I take out the Thornridge, and then turn around and catch an eye full of enemy ships trying their hardest to fill me with fire and acid, so it's time to launch some torpedoes and run like the devils on my heels. I do get a couple of torpedo hits, and I also make sure to switch my charges back to balanced for the fight, as I'm taking way too much damage here. Our buddy Masterfish comes back to fight the Aurora, and I'm going to use this oversized coral here to get some cover while turning around. However, it's just the two of us here, and while I am turning around, I do get caught a little bit on the coral, and Masterfish is also starting to take a beating as well. My health is back up though, so now I'm going to go ahead and launch a few more torpedoes into that mess of enemy monsters. I try to take out some of the closer flyfires first, so that I can close in on the Aurora and launch some really devastating torpedo salvos. However, Masterfish suddenly gets focused down pretty hard there. It looks like he gets caught between the boss and several other players, and unfortunately he goes down and our division is disbanded. But here's the cool part about the Polygon game mode. I can get invited into another division just like that. And even if you were brawling with that player a second ago, everything is now forgiven and we're best friends again. So I look for my new buddies on the minimap and head over to them to see if we can finish off this raid boss. I am taking a huge amount of damage here from the flyfires and the Aurora though, but we've got the cavalry riding in to the rescue. I'm dodging and weaving while launching my torpedoes as best I can. My priority here is to stay alive so that I can rack up as many battle points as I possibly can, since dying right now would only net me just under 3,000 points. And while I'm kiting these flyfires, my two new buddies were able to finish off the Aurora, and you can see that the moment our division takes it down, we get a ton of battle points to max out at 5,000 each. But we're not out of the woods yet. We still need to get out via the portal, and I'm trying to link up with my new Heracles buddy here. There's also a flyfire chasing me down, so I turn and launch a salvo of torpedoes on it, which finally gets the annoying pest off of me. These torpedoes should be easy to dodge, and I work around our Heracles and try to help him out with the flyfires that are swarming him. Our Heracles buddy also puts up a nice area heal buff centered around his ship, so that really boosts my recovery nicely. These flyfires should go down to 1 or 2 of my torpedoes each. We get one here, and Going to go ahead and wait for our torpedoes to reload. They're almost there. And we launch. And we get our second one. And now that we're in the clear, I'm about to head to the exit portal with my ridiculous speed of 190 knots. However, I also noticed that our Avenger is getting hounded by several gnats as he's making his way home. So I decide to turn towards my newfound buddy and see if I can help out a bit. I'm planning to launch torpedoes to zone off the little gnats that are chasing my Avenger friend, while also holding the exit portal as best I can. There is no team damage in this game mode, so I don't have to worry so much about my torpedoes hitting my buddies. I launch my torpedoes at the predicted path of the leading edge of fly fires to give my Avengers some cover. However, I also noticed that there are a couple of gnats that have just spawned in the portal itself, so I slow down and bide my time and launch my torpedoes at them from the other side of this gateway. And now we're going to go ahead and back up. We do get one of the fly fires, and I'm just going to go ahead and slowly back up and back out through the portal. I'm about to launch my torpedoes. I do launch one torpedo here, and it looks like the rest of my buddies are safe, so I'm going to just go ahead and back up and back out of this game into the portal. The moment my ship touches the portal, I exit and my game ends, doubling my battle points. And just a few moments later, both our buddies head out as well. So all in all, a pretty successful end to this one. We each get 5,000 battle points for the kill on the Aurora, and exiting the portal doubles that to 10,000. So a quick recap. I like this revamped Polygon game mode. There's no longer just a single winner. Instead, you can have everyone in a division finish the game with the maximum 10,000 points by killing the boss and exiting. It's got fast-paced action, potential for spontaneous cooperation, and definitely breaks free from the monotony of random grinds, especially if, like me, you find yourself having a streak of bad games. The battle points you earn can be used in the armory to buy random flags, camo, as well as corporation tokens, which can then be exchanged for permanent camouflage on several tier 8 ships, like the Amagi and Akizuki. In fact, I think the Akizuki permanent camouflage makes it look just like the Whirlwind that you saw me play earlier, so that's kinda cool. And I do recommend giving the Polygon game mode a spin, and let me know how you like it in the comments section below. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you did, please do me a favor and hit the like button below or subscribe to the channel. And please join me again next week for more World of Warships videos. Thank you for watching and take care.